Hello, folks. Welcome to Loro and Friends Inside the NFL. My name is Loro Antonio. With me today is Ben Curse, and we can finally talk about a blowout win for the Patriots, right?
No, it feels good. Yeah, like we talked about on Sunday night on the extra point, it's probably the most complete Patriots win. And I know you could say, well, it's the Jets, but when you put up 50 plus points, regardless of who you face, it's really no joke. So it's a good feeling to have if you're a Patriot fan, but of course you need some consistency. So hopefully that they can maybe not put a 50 point type of game. That would be of course awesome, but to at least keep the train growing here, and hopefully that the consistency can kind of start on a run, from here on out.
Yes, so absolutely. We'll talk about some of our. One of my thoughts on this game was this was the best game that they played offensively. I think that the offense of the Patriots has really gotten better, and it's really improved since last year.
It has, yeah. I mean, to be fair, for Cam, and speaking of Cam, I still kind of shocked at this point in time that he still has not found a team yet. I watched some of that Monday Night Football game. I'm thinking to myself, man, Cam Newton can't even be on like a backup somewhere, like not even like a back to like Seattle or like be a backup in like Washington. If he wants a chance to play, there's so many, whether it's guys are hurt, whether it's guys are just not performing well, get guys a chance. And Cam, I feel bad for the guy because I want him to do well. But in terms of Mac, playing here, he's done great. He hasn't obviously been the worry. He's thrown the same amount. He's thrown the most touch. Well, he's tied the amount of touchdowns that he did with Cam last year. I think with 8 or 9. So obviously that's good to see. And the offense, of course, has done a lot better lately too. Kendrick Bourne, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith starting to get things a little bit going here. Hopefully that he can get a little more consistent. But yeah, they've been scoring more points. They've been, compared to the start of the season, they've been scoring more points. They've been taking more care of the football and just playing a little more consistent. The only thing I worry about is still their pass secondary. I think it's still kind of weak. It might be kind of like that the whole season, and it's going to be kind of like a bend or break type of defense. So they're going to rely on the offense to kind of score a lot of points, kind of stay within games. But you definitely have to be a little more satisfied, I guess you can say, with the way the Patriots offense is playing compared to the kind of early part of the season, which is good to see.
Yeah, so we'll also talk about some players of the game on offense, defense, and special teams. Special teams player of the game, I'm going to go with Gunnar Olszewski. On defense, I would go with Christian Barmore again. He had a good game the other on Sunday, and then my offensive player of the game, Mac Jones.
Yeah, offensive player of the game, I'd probably go with Damon Harris and J.J. Taylor. The running back group is great. Of course, Mac threw his first 300-plus yard game of his career, which is great. There's a lot of guys you can go to. The offensive line was good. So the offense as a whole, was a big part of a player of the game type of way. Defensively, I'd probably go with Lawrence Guy. The running game for the Jets was kind of their strong suit in week 2. He was a big part to stopping a lot of the inside runs on Sunday. Christian Barmore, of course, stood out once again too. And the defense, of course, is bend or break, but I think that J.C. Jackson made a pick there. Kyle Duggar is another guy too. He continues to shine too. We had another interception. So, and then special teams, I'd probably go Nick Folk. He's just been Mr. Consistent. And, outside of that PAT that he missed, which was kind of when the Patriots were kind of up by quite a bit. So at the time, it didn't really matter. They've done great. So, that's the thing.
Yes, everybody has done really well there. So, anyways, folks, now let's talk about our biggest takeaway from week 7. One of them was the Bengals beating the Baltimore Ravens, and I think the Bengals are for real right now.
Yeah, if the Bengals stay healthy, they could be in for a really good special year this year. Joe Burrow has definitely gone to that next step as a second-year quarterback. Jamar Chase, who, of course, was with Joe Burrow in college at LSU. really has helped Joe Burrow in terms of his progression. Chase has been a great weapon for him. Chase scored 2 touchdowns this past Sunday against Baltimore, and their defense is really shown up too. They don't have a lot of household names defensively, but they have some guys that can make plays. And they're 5-2. They've definitely stayed within a lot of their games. They've beaten some really good quality opponents. They've beaten Pittsburgh already. They've beaten obviously Baltimore. They should be a really fun team this year. Compared to the last couple of years, this Bengals team is definitely not a pushover. They score a lot of points. They stay within games, and they're definitely a confident group. So that's definitely good to see for them. So definitely, yes, they're a surprising team.
Yes, they are definitely a surprising team there. But now let's talk about our divisional standings through week 7. The Bills could have been undefeated at this point, but when I played Madden 22, they're one of the undefeated teams in the NFL with the Tennessee Titans. But the Bills sit at 4-2. The Patriots are a game back of the Bills, and then the 1-5 Jets and the 1-6 Dolphins. But I want to tell you guys this: don't count out the Dolphins just yet.
I mean, that's your opinion. I think the Dolphins, they have a long road ahead. Can they go on a little bit of a run? Yes, but I think that they just definitely put themselves in too big of a hole. I think that the Dolphins could probably come in 4th. I think the Dolphins are going to be coming in 3rd. I think the Jets are going to be coming in last. The Jets definitely, yes, they just traded for Joe Flacco. Zach Wilson's going to be out. We talked about how long Zach Wilson will be out. I think it was reported like 2 to 4 weeks. So I feel like that's good, best case scenario for the Jets. But the Jets are going to be actually facing Cincinnati coming up. I don't think the Jets really have a chance in this game because Cincinnati's been playing really hot football, and the Jets definitely have gotten very cold as of late too. So, but I think the Patriots are going to stay within reach of the Bills. I think the Bills still probably will win the division, unfortunately, but because they lost against Tennessee, before this bye week of theirs the week before, and they almost won it. They were like 20 seconds away. They're 4th down, and Josh Allen tried to sneak it for a first down. He didn't get it. Credit to the Titans there, and the Bills lost. But the Bills definitely have a lot of favorable matchups coming up. So, I mean, more than likely, they'll probably win those, and they'll probably open up more of a lead over us. But that's kind of the way I kind of see things. But the Patriots just have to really worry about themselves. They have to keep on playing how they've been playing, and hopefully that they can find themselves kind of creeped back up to the top of the division, and maybe see if they can maybe take it over. But time will tell.
Yes, I think time will tell there. So talk about the AFC North. The Bengals and Ravens are both 5-2. The Cleveland Browns have improved to 4-3. They're playing Pittsburgh, so I expect Cleveland to win big. Steelers are 3-3, but I'll tell you what, Cincinnati, not only Joe Burrow could lead them to their first division title since 2015, I believe Joe Burrow can lead the Bengals to their first playoff win in years.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, knowing the Bengals for many years, they know how to let people down, even when they kind of have their high hopes. But I think that there's definitely something fun with this team right now. I think that they can keep going. They stay healthy. I think that they can be right up there in the top of the division with Baltimore. I think Pittsburgh definitely has declined a bit, but I think that Pittsburgh will kind of stay within reach. And Cleveland, it depends about Baker. I think Baker could be back soon, which is huge if they get their running game back. But you saw what their running game did against Denver without Chubb and Hunt. It didn't really seem like they missed a beat against a really good running core defense for Denver. So this is probably one of the most underrated divisions in football. But I mean, the Bengals are going to be facing the Jets. The Bengals will probably win that. The Steelers will be facing the Browns. That'll be a really fun matchup. If the Browns have a lot of guys healthy back, the Steelers probably, they want to win coming up too. So it should be a really, really fun division. And the Ravens, I don't know who they faced on Sunday, but they of course have been playing decent football. They're still within reach here, and good division so far. At least in the first 6-7 weeks here.
Yeah, Absolutely. I mean, now moving on into the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans are 5-2. The Colts are a game under 500, and I think they're getting their season back on track. The Jaguars and the Texans are both in a dogfight for last place.
Yeah, so this division, the AFC West,
It's
the
the
Titans are
South.
playing on the South, my bad. The Colts are playing much better. You look at how they've been playing, and Derrick Henry's just absolutely going off right now, which should be expected because he's arguably probably the best running back in football. And you have Ryan Tannehill, of course, just being a game type manager, not doing obviously anything crazy, but he, of course, definitely helps in a lot of ways. So they're 5-2. The Colts are 3-4, but they're kind of like, if Carson Wentz could stay healthy, they had a huge win this past Sunday night in San Francisco. Um, Frank Wright definitely is a good coach for him, so I wouldn't rule out the Colts anyway. And then you look at Jacksonville and you look at Houston. Jacksonville just had their first win last week against Miami, and then Houston has a 6-game losing streak. Jacksonville and Houston both are going to be rebuilding type teams. And really, it's only be a 2-team race in that division between the Titans and Colts. And I'd probably go more heavily at this point with the Titans to win this division. But like I said, for the East, time will tell. And you never know if the Colts can get on a hot streak. Plus, the Colts haven't faced the Titans yet, at least twice in their division. So, of course, those are huge. And their matchup this weekend should be a really fun one. So we'll see how that goes.
Yes, we'll have to wait and see how that goes for sure. So, anyways, now on to the AFC West. The Raiders are 5-2. The Chargers are 4-2. Kansas City is now back under 500 with Denver. But I feel like that the Chiefs, this is kind of a bad first half. I think the second half of the season, they're going to take off.
Which team, sorry?
The Chiefs. I'm talking about Kansas City.
Yeah. The Chiefs are, well, I look at the Chiefs right now. If you asked me today if the Chiefs would be 1-4 in their conference play and through the first 6-7 weeks, I think you're high. I think you'd be crazy. But the record shows what they're showing. They're 3-4, but they're an absolute mess. It's not just Mahomes, but it's just execution wise, just nothing's really going right with their team. Mahomes is throwing multiple picks week by week, and just feel like maybe just 1 week, it would have been okay. That's a little bit of a concern, but he's done it for now multiple weeks, and so something's going wrong there. I don't know what it is. They only scored 3 points. Against Tennessee, and Tennessee's not a bad team, but this is definitely not the Chiefs team that we've been accustomed to. The dominant type of Colts team, the Chiefs team, and I think the Chiefs definitely have to really make a lot of adjustments. They can't just go out to playing like completely crazy loose. Going out there think like they're going to score a crazy amount of points. Now they're really kind of behind the back. I mean, they have. I won't say that they have their backs against the wall, but they kind of have to prove to people, that they have to really show the world that we're still the Chiefs that people know about. They haven't been playing great. Do I think that they have a run in them? Yes, but I do think that they have to really start getting things going because they're 1-4 in conference play. They're 2-2 on the road. They're 1-2 at home. They definitely haven't been the best team in that division as of I can see right now. The Raiders are 5-2. They have a 2-game winning streak. Derek Carr, had I think a 91% completion percentage against Philly this past Sunday. He just absolutely balled. And that was, I believe, without Darren Waller when a security blanket. So the Raiders are playing really well. The Chargers are, of course, the team the Patriots are playing Sunday. The Chargers are a very tough team. They got a new coach in Brandon Staley, and I think that he's done a great job for that team. And then you look at Denver. Yeah, Denver's 3-4, but they're definitely on the downhill. They've lost their last 4 games. They're definitely a pretender. I think that they're going to keep on falling down. Like I said, I don't know if I really trust Teddy Bridgewater as a full-time quarterback. I think he's a decent quarterback. I don't trust him as a full-time quarterback. And so, yeah, I think you look at these 3 teams. I think the Chiefs definitely will be within the race, but I think that the Raiders and Chargers definitely playing much better football than them.
We have a comment from a familiar face. That's Christy Wilson from the MI6 Sports Network. We see her comment frequently on our show. So welcome, Christy, to the Loro Sports Pod side. So she says, hello, guys. And she said that the Chiefs are slipping, and that is scary to me.
Yeah, definitely so, Christy. Uh, this is definitely a team that once they catch fire, they can definitely just go off. And the crazy thing is, they haven't been scoring a lot of points, and most of their guys have still been staying healthy. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelsey, their running back crew. I know Edwards-Helaire, I think, has been a little bit banged up, but you know, the biggest thing is they need to get production out of somewhere else besides Kelsey and Hill. I think defenses definitely has started to kind of, of course you can't play man to man on the Chiefs, but you definitely there's a way to disguise them. I think.
Sorry to interrupt here, folks. We got a black cat in the background.
Oh, my cat. Yeah. That's one of my cats here. So yeah, he's part of the show now. He's gonna take his time to go off here. Thanks for the catch, Laura. But continue your question, Christy. Yeah, I think that the Chiefs definitely are going to turn things around, but they definitely have to kind of go back to their original ways in terms of not just playing extremely loose, but they have to really play careless-free football. They've been turning the ball over at will, which is very unlike them. So if they stop the turnovers, I mean, they should be definitely within reach. That's what I got to say.
Yes, and now on to the NFC East. When you talk about the Cowboys, the Washington football team, and also the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants, I think the Cowboys they're being back to the Cowboys that we know when Dak Prescott's healthy. The Washington football team's a well-coached team, but they've been disappointing lately. The Philadelphia Eagles are 2-5, and the New York Football Giants are also 2-5.
Yeah, this is definitely the division that's going to be won by the Cowboys, unless a drastic miracle happens. How about them Cowboys? I don't like the Cowboys at all personally for myself. I've always thought America's team has been the Patriots, so that's kind of why I never liked them. Never really been a fan of Jerry Jones either, but I do respect the way that they've been playing. They've been playing great. I do like Dak Prescott. Outside of the Cowboys organization itself, I am a fan of Dak Prescott. Especially his comeback story in terms of what he had last year, that injury. So I want him to do well, and he's been playing great football. You look at MVPs in terms of Kyler and Rodgers and Brady and all those guys, but obviously you got to get some love to Dak Prescott. He's been playing great football, and yeah, Dallas is 5-1. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They're feeling great about themselves. Of course, they went into Foxborough and had the OC winner to CeeDee Lamb. They had their bye this past Sunday, so they actually on the Halloween primetime Sunday night game coming up this Sunday, they face Minnesota in Minnesota. That should be a tough game actually because Minnesota is 3-3, but don't let that record fool you because they're not a bad team as kind of the record is. The Vikings are also 2-1 at home, and so Dallas has to go on the road. And Dallas is 2-1 on the road, but Washington is 2-5. Like you said, though, they have been a little bit disappointing, especially with their defense. I thought that they definitely would be a little bit better than they are. And then the Giants just won against the Panthers. The Panthers are a team that have kind of been falling, so I think that the Giants still they're still far away in terms of getting to where they want to be. They still have a lot of tough teams ahead, especially Kansas City, despite them not playing great. I still think the Giants are definitely a big underdog in that game. So unless, like I said, something drastically changes, I think it's the Cowboys and the driver's team in that division.
It is. You're absolutely right about that here. So now, folks, with that being said, let's go on to the NFC North. We got the Green Bay Packers at 6-1, but they lost Davante Adams and some other people to the COVID list. Joe Burry won't be there for their Thursday night game. They got a tough test against the Arizona Cardinals. The Minnesota Vikings are 3-3. The Chicago Bears are 3-4, and the Detroit Lions are 0-7.
Yeah, so this division's kind of interesting. I think that the Packers are the best team now in that division. They've been playing great football. The Packers have. Their defense is playing decent. They're on a 6-game winning streak. So, that game Thursday night, and we'll talk about that game Thursday night. Despite now the fact that two of their top receivers for Green Bay are out due to COVID, so that definitely kind of sucks. But when you have a 6-1 Green Bay team against the Cardinals or Thursday night football game that's coming Thursday, it's going to be crazy. Rodgers and Kyler, but going into terms of that division, the Packers 6-1, they're a great team. The Vikings are 3-3, they're 500. They're not playing bad football. I mean, Cousins has had his good and bad moments. He's kind of been the Kirk Cousins we're accustomed to, very inconsistent, but he'll definitely make his throws when wanting to. He's decent here and there. The Bears are 3-4. Of course, Matt Nagy, not a big fan of Matt Nagy, but I do hope he's going to be okay because he just tested positive for COVID. So hopefully things will be okay with Matt and the Bears situation there. But they're 3-4. Unless the Bears turn things around, for the rest of the season. I mean, they could be a wild card team possibly, but they would have to rely on Justin Fields to absolutely ball out. They would need their offensive line to get things straight because their offensive line is a mess. So, I mean, I don't see the Bears making the playoffs. Personally, for me, I think the Packers and Vikings kind of the top two, and then the Lions. I mean, the Lions haven't won a game yet, but I think they've been competitive. They've been playing hard. They're 0-7. So, but I don't think the record just personally thinks how the Lions. I mean, the Lions are going to be a rebuilding team. Don't get me wrong, but I think that they're going to win eventually soon because I think that their hard work is going to definitely pay off at some point. So, under Dan Campbell, he'll definitely get a win coming up the next couple of games here. So, yeah, that's kind of the way I see the NFC North. Like I said, the Packers and the Vikings are probably the best two teams in that division right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they are. And then I think that the Packers could lose to Arizona, which I think that's going to happen here. On to the NFC South. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers improved to 6-1. They just easily beat the Chicago Bears. And then the New Orleans Saints are now 4-2. The Falcons are 3-3. And the Carolina Panthers are 3-4. I think the Panthers, I still am confident that they can get out of this losing skid.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely is an interesting division. I do think that the Bucs are going to be the front runners for the division. And I look at Tom Brady and the Bucs. Congratulations to Tom, the GOAT. 600 career passing touchdowns as he got that this past Sunday. Of course, if you want to know the story more about Brady and Mike Evans, the situation with the ball, with the kid or Mike Evans not knowing that was 600, and then of course what Brady did to that younger kid with the cancer situation, I thought was very awesome and just kind of tell in terms of how good Tom Brady is as a person on and off the field. Very touching, especially for myself, loving Tom Brady as my former quarterback, and he will be my favorite quarterback ever. But I love Mac Jones too as our current quarterback too. But besides the point, the Saints are 4-2. They won 13-10 yesterday against the Seahawks. Yes, I mean they're 3-1 on the road. They're 1-1 at home. Their defense is okay, not great. We'll see how that goes. The Falcons are 3-3. They've actually won their last two, so big thing for the Falcons. And then the Patriots are 3-4. So this is probably an interesting division, in terms of there's definitely kind of the front-running type of teams that are going to be good, and then you have the Panthers and the Falcons. If they kind of figure out some of their situations here and there, they're playing in a really tough division, so I don't think that they're going to make any noise to potentially make the playoffs, but they should definitely be teams to look an eye on.
Yes, absolutely. So now on to the NFC West. West is the toughest division in all of football. The Cardinals are a surprising 7-0. How long can their undefeated record last?
I think it will last. Well, I was thinking if the Packers stayed fully healthy offensively, that the Cardinals might have had their first loss this weekend or this week. But I think their first loss is going to be. I mean, they have the Green Bay, then they have at San Francisco, then Carolina, and then at Seattle. A lot of those are very winnable games. You look at maybe that Seattle game if Russ is back by then. But I think that the likeliness of their first loss comes this week. I don't think that they will lose, but I think that if there's any loss between now and their bye week, which their bye week is not till week 12, I think it's either going to be this week or if Russ comes back healthy on the 21st. That could be their another loss because Seattle, a great environment. Russ coming back. It is a 4:25 games of prime time. That could probably be the only other loss I could potentially see before the bye week, which is week 12.
And then the Rams are 6-1. I mean, they've been playing really good football lately. And then the Niners are 2-4, and then the Seahawks are 2-5.
Yeah, so I personally think that in this division, let me just go to the standings here. Talk about the West, right?
Yeah, NFC West.
All right, so the Cardinals obviously are been probably the best team in football without a doubt. They're still the first only undefeated team out there left. The Rams are 6-1. They've been playing excellent football. Stafford, Cooper Kupp been just an absolute balling. Their defense is still one of the best in the league, so they're not going anywhere. The Niners in Seattle. Now the Niners, like we talked about with Niner fan Isaiah on Sunday, if they figure out their quarterback situation, they actually execute some games down the stretch. Their defense can kind of get to the defense that we know that it is. I would not rule out this Niner team. They got to win some games on the road at home because they haven't won at home yet. They've lost actually their last 4 games. So they definitely get a win back on the win column. And same with Seattle. Seattle's lost their last 3 games. They're 2-5 now. Biggest thing is they need to get Russ back, but it might be too little too late for their team to potentially make a run because, that Seattle team runs and lives through Russell Wilson. I know they have a decent coach in Pete Carroll, but you take Russ out of that mix, and man, it's hard to watch, as we saw yesterday.
All right. So now, folks, let's talk about the Patriots and Chargers game preview and keys to the game and score prediction. So my Patriots are going to be coming into my hometown of Los Angeles. I'm looking forward to that. That's the second year in a row that the Patriots will do that. And for the Chargers, all they got to do if they want to win this game is they got to find a way to wear out the Patriots defense. But I just don't think it's going to be easy for the Patriots playing in LA against the Chargers in a hostile crowd at SoFi Stadium.
Yeah, so this should be a really fun game. We saw last year the Patriots absolutely just walled the Chargers. A lot of takeaways from that game. The Patriots just played mistake-free football. I don't think it's going to be another – I think it was a shutout last year. I don't think it's going to be another shutout this coming year. You have to obviously take an effect that there was no fans. So, of course, you didn't have the home field. I think the Chargers are going to have their home field, their fans ready to go. I do think the Patriots are going to win this game, actually. I think it'll be a close game. I think it could be – the Patriots have been scoring their mid-20s the last couple of games. I think it could be 27-24 Patriots. I think it'd be kind of like that Texans game, but I do think that the Patriots are going to be kind of in control of the game. The Chargers are going to kind of come back at the end, but I think the Patriots are going to make some plays down the stretch and win this game, and get another win here on the road here, and they've been playing good football on the road. Their defense definitely has to worry about Justin Herbert, though. He's been absolute balling. He's a great quarterback. The biggest thing for the Patriots, the biggest thing to look out for is their running game because the Chargers defense against the run is just absolutely brutal. So you definitely run the football a lot. That opens up a lot of play action. You use Mac Jones, who's been great against play action this season. You use Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar. So Mac Jones definitely is coming off a very good game. And then you basically put that on top of the running game with the Patriots, who've been doing well without James White. Bring in Stevenson for this week, and definitely just run the football heavily against a team that definitely struggles against the run. Offensive line could definitely be testing this one, but I do think that if you're the Patriots, you should be able to win this game. I don't think you're favored, but I think that if you can execute, you can score a good amount of points, stay within reach. I think that you have a good chance to win. So give me the Patriots 27-24.
Yes, I'm with you on that one. I have the same score as you. I think it'll come down to a game-winning field goal by Nick Folk. I think the Patriots have been playing a lot better. I could see them getting back to 500 against the Chargers.
Yeah, I think that this could definitely be a game. Now, if they don't play their game and they get behind, because they definitely need to get ahead in these games. They've been struggling when they've been down because they don't trust their defense enough to keep within reach to stay consistently. If they can stay ahead and kind of play back and forth type of football, I think it's going to be another close game. So of course, cherish that Jets game because you're probably not going to get many of those during the season of just absolute crazy blowouts. But I think the Patriots can maybe win by a score or two, maybe two scores would be awesome. If they can win like a 30-15 or 25-13, 14 type of game. But I just think that the Chargers they're gonna score a lot of points. I think that could maybe Herbert could have at least 3 touchdown passes, but I think Mac Jones could have between 2 and 3 touchdown passes, and I think that the running game will definitely do enough, and the defense will make some holds here and there at the end. They'll probably make some adjustments throughout the game, and I think that they'll find a way to win a very tough, hard, and gritty football game.
Absolutely. So also for final thoughts, good win for the Patriots. And we are looking, and thank you to Christy, who is our only fan that tuned in. She and Casey King also tune in a lot on our MI6 programming, especially Extra Point on Sunday. So the Patriots, their next 2 games, they got the Chargers, and then they get the Carolina Panthers next week.
Yeah, 2 road games. Going to be tough. 2 road games. Obviously, looking at one team that's been playing really good football. The other team that's been kind of shaky here and there, iffy, but they're going to definitely be another tough one because they've played some really good football early on in the season, so I can't rule them out. So yeah, they obviously have 2 road games, and hopefully that they can get some W's, in these 2. But obviously, focus on the Chargers. It's Halloween, so obviously enjoy that. Whether what you're doing out there, stay safe, stay healthy. Yeah, we'll look forward to, I guess, doing a potential Halloween special on Sunday.
Yes, Halloween Sunday special. That's for sure.
And so looking forward to that. And like we said off the air, Loro, enjoy the World Series as that starts tonight. And for those that are joining, if you guys want to know when the World Series starts, it starts tonight. Braves, Astros, and baseball. Loro and I talked off the air, but we're going to do an off-season type of MLB type of program. We don't know exactly when it'll start, but we're looking forward to that when it comes to that. But the baseball, definitely, the World Series is obviously the final countdown. It's one of my favorites. It sucks that both me and Loro's teams got eliminated in the championship series, but regardless if your team is out or not, as a baseball fan myself, you definitely look at the Astros are kind of that heavy favorite, but I do think that the Braves have just been playing awesome baseball. So that's kind of my leftover thoughts in terms of I'm looking forward to this game, which starts in about an hour my time, 8 o'clock my time. So that's kind of the way I'm thinking about. And as well, thanks Christy and Casey for joining in, and look forward to our next show, which should be Halloween night.
Yes, Halloween night, but also, folks, Loro and friends could be at the same time next Tuesday if the World Series continues on to a Game 6, just so you all know.
Definitely so. So looking forward to the stuff ahead, and definitely looking forward to, more football, baseball. That's obviously October is maybe probably the best time of year in terms of sports because there's just so much going on. Even if your team's not out there playing, one of your sports teams out there, there's usually something every single night. And just feels good as a sports fan, because obviously during quarantine for a while, last year and stuff, I definitely got all watching that same sport movie or same Netflix show. It definitely feels nice to be back and definitely feeling that some type of normalcy that we're accustomed to. And it should be a lot of fun. Should be great tonight. And that's really all I can say at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be great tonight. Game 1 of the World Series is tonight. So, anyways, for Ben, Loro signing off for now. We'll see you tomorrow for my our Sports Center show with Matt Bridgewater. Tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And Ben and I will be back together on the Extra Point on Sunday for a Halloween special.
Looking forward to it.